I'm gonna. Fine. Call the meeting to order. Start with roll call.
Okay, Anderson.
Here.
Graham. Yeah, Kutil.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Miles.
Here.
And Randall.
Here. Look for a motion to approve tonight's
I'll
agenda.
make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Look for motion to approve the minutes of the January 6th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the January 6th, 2025 meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No public comments, no hearings and petitions or applications. Old business, review and discuss the proposed zoning changes for residential districts. Teresa?
So after our last discussion, the two changes we discussed are included in your packet. And basically, those were for the RA section, and we decided to keep under conditional use permit home occupation. And then we changed the total square footage or the lot size on Z lots. We brought that down from 7,500 to 5,000. So those are incorporated. Those are the only two changes that we made since our last meeting. One thing I'm going to bring up, so this new district, this RA is for affordable housing. We have Z lots in there, which we've reduced the lot size on it. We have single-family lots in there, which we've reduced the size from our residential. But multifamily, we've kept that the same across the board. There's really no reduction for RA, so do we have it in there or not? I just wanted to give this information out to you
I think,
to let you know what other cities are doing for their multifamily for high density. I just put a spreadsheet, it's for discussion. If you guys don't want to change it, we don't have to. Just wanted to give you the information. So kind of the towns around us, like I said, this is kind of a spreadsheet of, it does look like we're a little larger compared to their high density, medium density lots, but it's just for discussion. Obviously, we don't have to change anything at all if we don't want to, but wanted to give the information to you guys. T and Lennox, they don't have low density, medium density, high density, they just have multifamily, but they do have, like T have, depending on the number of units, they have different, lot sizes for them. Brandon, Harrisburg, like it's, and Dale Rapids, like it's out there, they do have, different densities, and so.
The high density in Brandon at 2,000 square feet to me seems like it's tiny.
But that's per unit, 2,000 per
I
unit.
get it, but-
So if you've got
eight units is
eightplex you're putting
6,000.
up,
That's a good point.
yeah, exactly. So,
If you had 8 units, you'd be, with our regulation, you'd be,
Yeah.
8 would be 6,400, would be 79, would be 13.
Yeah, okay.
And if you had 8 there, you'd be 16. So we're actually,
I get it, you're right.
they're actually requiring more square footage than we are.
It looks weird on paper.
Correct.
It's written out here.
yeah, because that's a per unit, so it looks a little different because we're not,
I mean,
we're so much and then so much.
I'm kicking the quick numbers, and where we're at 7,500 plus 800 per square foot per dwelling unit, we're right in the numbers on most of these.
Lot width, we're a little higher, except for Del Rapids, high density. Setbacks, we're right, like I said, right in there too, I think.
But if you're gonna build an apartment with, let's say, if you do like a 4,
You know, fourplex.
if you did a 4-plex, you're gonna need 75 feet of frontage to get that 4-plex in there.
Yep. Like I said, I'm not saying anything wrong with our regulation. I just wanted to consider, because we are setting up this new district where we're kind of trying to make it more affordable. Do we want to do, since we've changed the other lots, do we want to look at doing any changes to this, which we don't have to. We didn't have that discussion, so I wanted to throw it out there for you.
My quick running quick numbers on them, pure total square footage, not taking this much here, this much there, trying to compare these. I think square feet, we're probably right in all of these. I don't think we're too big as compared to any of the rest of them.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to.
My question was gonna be, is there enough room on, what, 7,000 square feet's ours, right? To build a twin home on there?
Well,
So
twin
that's
home-
for multi-family. Twin home is 11,250 square feet, and that's for both of them. It's not per unit, it's just 11,250.
Multifamily is 4 or more, is a
Right,
fourplex.
it's 3 or more.
3 or more.
3 or more.
So you can
You
do,
don't build a
I
threeplex.
So if we're at a fourplex, it's 10, if I'm doing this right, it's 7,500 plus 800 per unit, right?
Right.
So
right,
we'd be at
so times
10,700.
4, yep.
10,700.
Yeah.
Just running numbers, like Maple Pass, that would be required about 1 acre and 3/4. I think there's 4+ acres for that first phase. I don't know how you would condense that down
Any more than it
Any more
is.
than-
on that
It is.
size of a
Yeah.
project.
And how many units was that?
89. And that's on over 4 acres.
Right.
And, I mean, there isn't a lot of green space that you're kind of tucked in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we need
Which is
to
half
make it.
of, which is twice what would be required for the city.
Right. So my other side, I don't remember if we talked about this last time, but is there a reason to not leave Z-lots in both zoning areas?
I think when I talked with Sean with Seacock, he thought it just made sense to move the Z lots because they are smaller size lots into the affordable housing versus keep them in, just the R district. I mean, we can keep them, we can do whatever you want. We can keep them in both
I
if
think
you
when
want.
you're
But they are
doing-
naturally a smaller lot, so
Right.
that's why he thought to
Yeah.
put them into affordable housing.
I know I've
Yeah.
been here over a year. I'm gonna play the new guy card. Walk me through what your thought is of why you want to keep it in the
To be absolutely honest about it, the only thing is that then we don't have to rezone the current ones we have,
Oh,
because they could just stay where they're at.
Yeah, because and the ones that are there, they met that 7,500 square
Right.
feet. I mean, we definitely could, and then put Z lots at the 7,500 square, just like we have it now. And then in the affordable housing, we can do the Z lots and then bring it, and then have the 5,000 square
5,000.
feet.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, I do like that, because then you don't have to rezone the ones that are currently.
You don't have to rezone what it is, and if you're doing it in a regular residential area,
You're not gonna.
it's keeping those Z-lots on a bigger lot.
Right,
Unless they want to come and rezone it, then they rezone it, then they can go
Yeah, my
smaller.
thought is that if you're putting a development together, you're obviously planning all of that out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, during that process, you would just zone accordingly.
Just pick.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
You're not gonna come back through after the fact and stack Z-lots in.
Right.
Right.
And having that option for just residential, like I said, especially like in Assams development where you've got single family along with the Z lots, it's nice having the little bigger Z lots there, so. That's
I would
a good
think
idea.
like being, more units or more lots together, that's kind of staggered in the development. So there's a few,
Right.
and here there's a few more, and
And
it seems like a Z-lot would be, both sides of the street all the way down for a block or two.
I guess I just kind of look to is if we have like Turtle Creek, they can zone the whole thing regular R. If they want to put in the larger lots, if they want to put in the smaller lots, they just ask for the rezone and take it down
All right.
to RA.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't mind
I
that.
said that's not a bad idea, because it gives a little option to the developers and,
It gives option, but it also keeps us a little bit, the people that are already living there can be lazy and they're like, oh, good, I don't have to change nothing. They didn't move anything there. They just added this new Z lot in
Right.
the RA,
Right.
so.
right,
I mean,
yeah.
saves
You're
a
just
little
giving
work.
an option for if
Yeah.
a newer development, if they want to have the smaller Z lots, they could, yeah.
I mean, it's no different than having multifamily in both areas.
True.
Yeah.
So you got basically now you got Z lots in both areas, you got single family and you got multifamily in both. Just with the RA, you've got a little bit smaller lot sizes and, like I said, lot sizes and setbacks.
What did you say last meeting, Tony, about frontage? What did you want to keep in there?
What's that?
You said something about frontage. You wanted to keep
We were doing
55 feet or something?
lots and 50 on.
Yeah, we went down to, we left everything and only changed the 50, the 5,000 was all the change.
Right.
We had talked about the lot width, but we decided that 55 was fine. Because of the way that the driveway has to be, you almost need that 55.
So would you do it, if you're gonna put your Z lots in your RA, they could be 50?
No, Z-lots either way are 55 frontage.
Right.
But we took them from 7,500 to 5,000. And I think the guy who's putting the Z-lot in there might have trouble fitting his Z-lot house on 5,000 square feet a lot.
Because we kept the lot width and the setbacks the same.
Because they allow you to stack, you can stack more in, but you can't fit the house on a lot size sometimes.
We can do a shallow backyard.
Right.
Because they wouldn't have to be quite as deep of a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but there again, you're laying out your streets and everything accordingly. Bring that one.
I like that idea.
So consensus, we should leave Z-lots in both.
Yep.
I'm okay with
Any reason why not to?
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. We'll leave the Z lots and the residential at the 7,500 square feet, and then we'll still keep it in RA, but that's at the 5,000 square feet.
Correct.
Okay, like I said, with that, we don't have to rezone any of the current lots, it's just be for new developments going forward, because they already meet the regulations for residential.
Yeah. Then your lot sizes are the same, right, through an through a R district?
Yep.
Instead of an
Yes.
RA district, you don't
Right.
have lots that are 50, you know, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too.
So can we, since we are making another change, can we still have that change and still do a motion to do a public hearing?
Yep, because
Okay.
basically, at the public hearing, then I'll present an ordinance and I'll have the Z lots and residential, so,
Okay.
like I said, and you're just
Okay.
recommending to the council too, so we can still move forward with the public hearing at the next meeting on the 28th.
Okay.
Get that advertised tomorrow.
Unless anybody else has to say, I'll make a motion to make that change and then to schedule a public hearing for the next meeting.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
I see the side setbacks are somewhat different. We're quite a bit more. Are there any reason
Oh,
to,
what's,
when you compare them to the other cities? We're 15 feet, most of the others are 10.
you mean on the multifamilies?
What do you think, Mark?
I don't know, more people, I don't think it's terrible to have some side yards, some green space. You're stacking people in there. Just-
Well, and I'll just,
I would agree with Mark.
even though I know that the building code doesn't require them to be that far apart, I think when you start getting multi-story, multi-family buildings parked in there, having a little bit of,
Appreciates a little room.
Extra space?
have a little bit of space, not only for fire separation, but for fire personnel to get in and around things too.
I agree.
Yeah.
And just green space for the many tenants.
Right.
I think quality of life, having some green space around there, otherwise you
Right.
can stack right on top of each other. I don't feel that land is that expensive in town, and having that little extra room around it is gonna impact your return on your investment that much.
I agree with that.
Good answer.
I just know it's
Good.
a
Good.
discrepancy, and I.
Yeah, that was a good call out. That's a good call out.
Yep, good discussion.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Miles?
Yep.
Jackson?
Yes.
Kutil?
Yes.
Graham?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Randall, yes.
Public hearing then on the 28th.
Moving into new business, certificate of appointments. Mr. Graham?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. 2 more years to put up with us. Hold on, you gotta stand up, Teresa.
Hey, hold on, yeah, hold on. Stand up.
Teresa's gotta get a picture.
Yeah, let's get a little bit of.
That's right.
All right, next. Perfect, all right.
Dr.
Thank
Shane.
you.
Mr. Kutil?
I knew there was a reason I wore this shirt.
See, you got this, yeah, you're good, oh, you're good, nice logo behind you too, you guys.
Tony, do you want to give yours?
Yeah.
Brad, you want to get?
Sure.
Well,
Take a picture by yourself.
There you go. Perfect. All right.
What's up, Tony?
Thank you, guys. Yep. Yeah, 2 more years, sorry.
I was just gonna say, Sutter Dude for 2 more years.
All right, moving forward, I'll open for nominations for chairman.
I would nominate to keep Tony Randall.
I'll second that.
Tony, are you interested?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a pretty tough crew.
Pay is pretty
I know.
Look at you getting an extra nickel an hour, don't you?
No.
Didn't even get that.
No.
That's up for discussion at some point. I'm just kidding.
Any other further nominations?
You're it.
Someone like to make a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot?
I'll make a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Open nominations for vice chairman.
I think Brad did a great job. I would nominate Brad one more time.
I'd just like,
One more time.
if he's willing to take it.
Yes,
Just
yes.
one more time, Tim. It's like a probation, yeah, I'm a probation period, Tim's got me on.
Just like Darnold, we're gonna keep you 1 year and then you're out.
Yeah.
That big paycheck.
Any further nominations?
Make nominations, close nominations.
And cast a unanimous.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to nominate Brad Miles and close nominations with a unanimous ballot for him. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Mr. Clarke, what's happening in your world?
Well, in the last 7 days, not a lot has changed. But I did make a call to the project manager at Max Shops up on Route, and he said that he would like for us to do frame inspections in multitude, not like one at a time. So even though they may be going up, they'll be going up with their approval in about 2 weeks. We'll go through there. So I know you were concerned about the speed and everybody getting ahead of us, but they're not getting ahead of us. So we're on the same page.
Okay. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, so have a good time.
Well, they'll have to meet the building code, so. Other than that, there really isn't any updates in 7 days, except the, Mr. Graham's deck.
And I'll approve.
And we're all invited in July, right? for a cookout?
Sure.
All right. Mr. Christensen?
Violations noted since we last met. No pet, 2 for no pet license. I've been starting this morning on code enforcement on the trailer park here in town. It's been long overdue. Just started, so I got a few letters sent out today for exterior condition, slightly trashed and junk, parking on grass, and inoperable and abandoned vehicles.
Well, you're headed up to the trailer park on North Main here, on this side. I can't tell you the exact address, but we've got a van that looks like it's not running and a box truck, both parked on the grass on the north side of the house.
Where out in Maine?
Up north here on the east side. It's a two-story white house with a big empty lot alongside of it.
Okay.
There's a van there that looks like it hasn't moved for a while, and there's a box truck, and they're both parked on the grass. So since you'll be busily going back and forth from the trailer park for a few days, you can keep your eyes on it. Did we come to completion on the trailer on the grass at North Vandemark that you got in your report here? Because that shows is not closed. You say you sent the letter with the $200 day fine, but you're not showing it closed, so I'm assuming that's not been resolved.
Drawing a blank. Yes. Dealing with, still got the unpaid fine, but he did move the trailer.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Christensen? Teresa, anything to add to your report?
One thing to add to the report is that, heard from the state, we were supposed to hear about, we had submitted a grant for the bike trail along Nicholson Road there out to Turtle Creek Highlands. Supposed to hear something this month, hadn't heard anything, so we contacted the state. They are having a meeting on the 30th. They do not know if we will have a decision by then or if it'll be pushed off to the February meeting because they have a lot on the agenda. So hopefully we'll hear something by the end of January. If not, it'll be February.
So dealing with that bike path, I'm assuming that the new house that got built on the corner of Nicholson and Turtle, they did not put in boulevard sidewalks. I'm assuming we told them not to worry about it because
Yes,
we're
we've
probably
had a
on the bike path.
Yes, we've had a conversation with them, told them we were applying for this grant and that hold off on putting it in, save your receipts from the cost you put in this go-around. If it doesn't come to fruition, the bike path, then they will have to, we'll work with them and if there's any difference in putting it in this coming spring, whatnot. But yes, we've had a conversation with them about that. It didn't make sense to have them put it in and then if it got tore up.
It makes perfect sense to me too, so.
Yeah.
I
So,
assume
yes.
that's the discussion.
When we were applying for it, we had contacted them and talked about it, and they're all in favor of it. They hope it does go through. They think it would be a great connection, so they're more opposed of it at all to go on that north side of their house, so hopefully it will.
I'm going to mention something to the mayor, but I'll mention it to you here also. If that project comes to fruition, is being bid out, I'm assuming that because we're getting a grant and everything on it, that we're not assessing sidewalk installation of the property owners?
I wouldn't assume we have, because we have not done that with any other grants that
Right.
way. And we've already budgeted for our 20% share, so.
Because when we built Mickelson, all the sidewalks that went along Mickelson, they all had to pay for.
Right, we did assess that, yeah, because it went in with the street project. This is, like I said, a trail we're putting in that we applied a grant for.
Right.
And cities city's taken on the 20% share, so we're not assessing on that side.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is we've got that one gap in the sidewalk along the north side of Mickelson, in between Connie and,
Oh, yes, the gentleman that bought the extra lot, yeah.
yeah. If we're gonna have a however many $100,000 sidewalk project, we ought to just put that in on the deal and have them go across the street and put a sidewalk there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think,
Kind of-
I think you could go over there and you could put a sidewalk in and nobody's gonna complain even if they did, the property owner didn't have to pay for it because now they've got a sidewalk.
Right.
Because otherwise, they're never gonna get a sidewalk there.
Yeah, unless he decides to want to put up a shed or a fence or, yeah, build something on that lot, our own,
Well-
our ordinance is tied, you don't have to put a sidewalk until you develop it, yeah.
But I do think we
I
could
think
change that.
well, I said, there's been discussion and sidewalks were, that discussion was put on hold for a little bit, but the mayor wants to bring that around again, so that's one of the discussions that we need to change that.
Well, the only
need
way
to
that
get-
he's gonna be forced unless we change it is if he replots those two lots into one. Because he can't put anything on that lot because it's not developed.
No, and then that's how it is. If he wants to put anything on it, shed, fence, pool, he doesn't want that, I feel you need to replot it into one, and then that'll kick in that you have to put the sidewalk in, so, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to see us in a year or 5 years with similar situations where somebody buys an adjacent lot with no intent to build,
Oh,
just to have that buffer.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
not put
no,
a sidewalk
we've
in.
talked, it'll probably take an ordinance change to make people owners of a lot.
The council with the Mayor's Sidewalk Initiative, they're actually talking about that already.
Right.
So it
I
doesn't,
talked to Arden about it
Yeah.
briefly a while ago, but
I was at a couple of meetings earlier last year when,
Are they talking about a stay, that you can own it for so many years and then regardless, the sidewalks stay in?
How that looks, I don't know, we're just in discussion
I
about it
would say
now.
if you own that
Yeah.
and it's not for sale,
That's just it, if you're not
then after
actively
12
marking
months, you
it, if
should
you're
be
not
required
a,
to put a sidewalk in,
Right.
or come in and get a variance.
I think
or
we need to
something.
do a leeway
the-
for a developer, but if you, like you said, if you own the property.
part of the discussion when it went on a council meeting is, well, you got people that, they do plan on building a house there at some time, they don't want to have to put in a sidewalk because then the construction's got to go over top of the sidewalk and you can end up busting up the sidewalk and whatever, which I understand that. But to your point, Mark, we don't need to have somebody that's just holding a piece of ground and we're cutting off a sidewalk that's,
In that setting, that's, yeah, purchased another neighbor, and that's, I have no issue with that.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it's, in my mind there, it's a totally bad deal because the post office decided to set their mailboxes and there's no sidewalk even to the mailboxes there. So everybody has to stand in the street to get their mail.
Yeah.
Or park in the middle of the road.
Or park in the middle of the road and go get it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing the bike trail would be on the south side of Nicholson.
Yes.
Yes.
that's
Is it just gonna go from the double sidewalk all the way down then?
It'll go where it stops now at Patrick,
Yeah.
and yep, just continue
Okay.
down to Turtle Creek Drive, yep. We're on the south side in the right of way there.
Are we planning to do that concrete like the sidewalk or are we gonna
Yes.
do pavement?
Concrete 10-foot trail, just like what's there now. So we submitted anyway. Hopefully we get it.
Can you put that
And,
road through on the east side of Jardings, then all the way up to the railroad to go over at?
I'm sorry,
Extend
what?
that road on the east side of Jardings there, across the creek and find the railroad.
Oh,
Throw it out
No.
on the ground.
we looked at that road when we did Nicholson.
No, I
It
know.
was like $1 million added to the project, yeah. it was-
No, I'm aware.
Yeah,
Oh.
It
sure,
would
so.
be handy.
So at someday, yes, it will be that
The road,
connection, but,
the road to virtually nowhere.
yeah.
No, we got middle school that we'll have to go in.
I think we should get more development, I mean, at some point, let's see a road there, but,
What is that, an eighth or less of a mile and it was $1 million back then when you looked at it? Holy crap.
It's gonna be $1.5 to $2 million without even trying.
The
Because,
bridge, that
I say,
gets-
because of the.
because the box culverts under Mickelson was $990,000 for those box culverts, and we put those in. And I guarantee you're gonna have to put the same size box culverts in when you put that road up there, because the same flow is gonna be there.
Yeah, that's just it, with that creek through there, it's,
So, you got $1 million put in the box culverts.
The rest of it's inexpensive, really, I mean,
yeah.
compared to
Good point.
Right.
It's the digging and the putting the culverts in.
Yep. Otherwise, anything else in my report? Does anybody have any questions?
So updated,
Hmm?
updated contact information.
Yep, put that in there. Like Tony had mentioned, we do have an open spot on the board. Michelle stepped down, so if anybody has anyone in mind, contact Tony or the mayor.
Either one.
Yep, either one, and.
Like somebody up in this part of town, and just for
Which part of town?
Over here.
northwest part of town, and for a little bit of diversity, it'd be nice to be female.
Yeah. Think of someone? And if you think of anybody for Park Rec, let us know too. We do have 2 openings in there.
Yeah, let-
Yeah. All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Meeting adjourned.